If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so by clicking on the subscribe button below. 20 fascinating facts about the Egyptian pyramids. Number 1. Which are the most famous pyramids? Of more than 100 ancient pyramids in Egypt, 3 are most famous. The first and largest was built by the Pharaoh Khufu. His reign started around 2551 BC. Khufu is also known as Cheops. Pharaoh means king. His pyramid, which today stands at 455 feet or 138 meters tall, is known as the Great Pyramid and was considered to be a wonder of the world by ancient writers. It is the only surviving wonder from the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The Pyramid of Khufu's son, Khafre, was only slightly smaller than Khufu's. The third pharaoh to build a pyramid at Giza was Menkaure, son of Khafre. Due to lack of resources, he opted for a smaller pyramid that only stood at 215 feet or 65 meters high. Number 2. Many scholars believe that the Sphinx monument, which lies near Khafre's pyramid, was built by Khafre, and that the face of the Sphinx was modeled after him. The Sphinx today is the largest monolith statue in the world. Number 3. Where are these pyramids located? These 3 principal iconic pyramids are at Giza, about 15 kilometers or 9.3 miles from the center of Cairo. So Giza is on the outskirts of metropolitan Cairo. All Egyptian pyramids were built on the west side of the river Nile, which at the site of the setting sun was associated with the realm of the dead in Egyptian mythology. Number 4. Why are these pyramids so famous? The Great Pyramid, the world's oldest structure, is so advanced that it can be duplicated even today, even using current technology. Remember, they were constructed around 2500 BC, when they did not have the paper as known today. They neither had a slide rule nor a calculator as known today. So the accuracy of the construction and its huge size are most amazing. The pyramid remained the tallest man-made structure in the world for over 3,800 years, unsurpassed until the 180 meter or 520 feet tall spire of Lincoln Cathedral in England was completed around 1300 AD. Number 5. Now let us talk about accuracy. The accuracy of the pyramid's workmanship is such that the 4 sides of the base have an average error of only 58 millimeters in length. The base is horizontal and flat to within plus or minus 15 millimeters or 0.6 inch. The sides of the square base are closely aligned to the 4 cardinal compass points within 4 minutes of arc, based on true north, not magnetic north. The Pyramid of Cheops or Khufu was built to face true north. In fact, it is the most accurately aligned to north of any structure in the world today. Despite being made millennia ago, the pyramid still faces that direction with just a minimal error. However, this is because the North Pole shifts over time, which means at one time the pyramid was spot on It is built to face true north. In fact, the Great Pyramid is the only structure to face towards true north. Number 6. What about the foundation? Only a solid stone mountain could endure the pyramid's immense weight. And indeed, a flat, solid granite mountain happens to be located just beneath the surface of the ground, directly under the pyramid. Number 7. What about the outer layer of the pyramid? The outer layer of the pyramid was made of a beautifully bright, protective layer of polished stone. These outer so-called casing stones are missing today because about 600 years ago they were stored by people who used them in building their own mansions. This accounts for the very worn appearance of pyramid today, since the inner limestone blocks are not immune to attack by the elements, that is, wind, rain, and sandstorm. This protective covering was made of 100-inch thick, 20-ton block of hard white limestone, similar to marble but superior in hardness and in durability against the elements. These casing stones, 144,000 in all, were so brilliant that they could literally be seen from the mountain of Israel hundreds of miles away. On bright mornings and late afternoons, sunlight reflected by this vast mirror surface of 5¼ acres distinguished the pyramid as being visible from the moon. Number 8. The pyramid rose to a height of 479 feet or 146 meters with a base of 754 feet or 230 meters and is comprised of over 2 million blocks of stone. Some of these stones are of such immense size and weight that the logistics of arranging and positioning them so precisely seems an impossibility by modern standards. It has been estimated that it contained over 2 million blocks of stone with an average weight of 2.75 tons, some weighing up to 16 tons. Most stones are as heavy as an elephant. The construction was almost faultless in design. The sides were oriented exactly towards the cardinal points and were at precise 90-degree angles. Note the words exactly and precise. The sides were oriented exactly towards the cardinal points and were at precise 90-degree angles. Number 9. The pyramid is located at the exact center of the Earth's land mass. That is, its east-west axis corresponds to the longest land parallel across the Earth, passing through Africa, Asia, and America. Similarly, the longest land meridian on Earth through Asia, Africa, Europe, and Antarctica also passes right through the pyramid. Number 10. Each of the pyramid's 4 walls, when measured as a straight line, are 9,131 inches for a total of 36,524 inches. At first glance, this number may not seem significant, but move the decimal point over and you get 365.24. Modern science has shown us that the exact length of the solar year is 365.24 days. Is this just a coincidence or some magic? Number 11. Each side of the Great Pyramid rises at an angle of 51.5 degrees to the top. Not only that, each of the sides are aligned almost exactly with true north, south, east, and west. Number 12. Is there a door to enter the Great Pyramid? Yes. The doors of the pyramids weighed up to 20 tons. The doors of the pyramids were very heavy. The Egyptians alone may have known how to open these great doors. In fact, the doors were so heavy that they were almost unidentifiable as doors, as they did not open easily at all. Their opening mechanism was only discovered when the Great Pyramid was being studied by scientists who realized that they were huge swivel doors. The door had the strange feature of being very easy to open with just one hand from the inside, but almost impossible to open from the outside. How the Egyptians were able to balance these 20-ton doors in order to create this effect remains a mystery. Number 13. What was the purpose of the pyramids? All of this effort went to creating a grand tomb for the king who, as mediator between the gods and the people, was thought to be deserving of the finest of tombs. Although many theories persist as to the purpose of the pyramid, the most widely accepted understanding is that it was constructed as a tomb for the king. If you stand near the Sphinx during the summer solstice, the sun appears to set midway between the pyramids of Khufu and Khafre, visually echoing a hieroglyph that symbolizes the cycle of life and birth. Along with other astronomical evidence, this has led scholars to speculate that the progenitors of the complex saw it as a, quote, cosmic engine, unquote, a way of harnessing the power of the sun god Ra to resurrect the soul of the entombed Pharaoh. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so by clicking on the subscribe button below. Number 14. How were the pyramids constructed? These pyramids were built from huge stones carved with copper chisels from stone quarries. What also seems to be obvious is the fact that the techniques used for the pyramid constructions have developed over time. Later pyramids were not built the same way as earlier ones. Number 15. Did slaves build the pyramids? Contrary to the popular opinion that Egyptian monuments in general and the Great Pyramid in particular were built using Hebrew slave labor, the pyramids of Giza and all other temples and monuments in the country were constructed by Egyptians who were hired for their skills and compensated for their efforts. No evidence of any kind whatsoever supports the narrative events described in the biblical book of Exodus. Workers' housing at Giza were discovered and fully documented in 1979 CE by Egyptologists Leonard and Hawass. But even before this evidence came to light, ancient Egyptian documentation substantiated payments to Egyptian workers for state-sponsored monuments, while offering no evidence of forced labor by a slave population of any particular ethnic group. Egyptians from all over the country worked on the monument for a variety of reasons to build an eternal home for their king, which would last through eternity. Building a pyramid required enormous resources and the maintenance of a wide array of all kinds of skilled and unskilled workers. The kings of the fourth dynasty, often referred to as the so-called pyramid builders, were able to command these resources because of their stability of their government and the wealth they were able to acquire through trade. A strong central government and a surplus of wealth were both vital to any efforts of pyramid building, and these resources were passed by to King Khufu by his father upon his death. Because of their immense size, building pyramids posed special problems of both organization and engineering. Constructing the Great Pyramid of King Khufu, for example, required that more than 2 million blocks weighing from 2 to more than 60 tons be formed into a structure covering 2 football fields and rising in a perfect pyramidal shape 480 feet into the sky. Its construction involved vast numbers of workers, which in turn presented complex logistical problems concerning food, shelter, and organization. Millions of heavy stone blocks needed not only to be quarried and raised to great heights, but also set together with precision in order to create the desired shape. Were it not for the 2 months every year when the Nile's water covered Egypt's farmland, idling virtually the entire workforce, none of this construction would have been possible. During such time, a pharaoh or the king offered food for work and the promise of a favored treatment in the afterworld where he would rule just as he did in this world. So remember, this promise of a good life in the afterworld is very important. The priests continue to use this logic even today. For 2 months annually, workmen gathered by the tens of thousands from all over the country to transport the blocks a permanent crew had quarried during the rest of the year. Overseers organized the men into teams to transport the stones on sleds, devices better suited than wheeled vehicles to moving weighty objects over shifting sand. Number 16, were mortars used to hold the blocks together. One of the reasons why the pyramids are so well preserved is because of the unique mortar used. It is stronger than the actual stone, but we do not know what exactly it was made from. Number 17, what happened to the contents placed inside? The answer is that every pyramid had been robbed of its treasures by 1000 BC. The Egyptians believed that their pharaohs should be buried along with their treasure and sometimes even their slaves. Hence, gold, jewelry, clothes, etc. were put in the tombs with the mummies. However, over the years, rulers of other kingdoms have destroyed the pyramids and taken these jewels and valuables back to their own respective kingdoms. Although the pyramids are very hard to damage, smaller pyramids were targeted and their riches plundered. One such example of this can be seen in the Great Pyramid of Giza. There is evidence of a failed break-in, and the deep hole that was made in the pyramid structure is still visible today. Number 18. What about attempts to destroy it? Yes, there was an attempt to destroy the Giza pyramids in the 12th century. Al-Aziz, a Kurdish ruler and the second Ayyubid Sultan of Egypt, tried to demolish them but had to give up because the task was too big. However, he did succeed in damaging the Menkaure's pyramid, where he left a large vertical gash in its north face. Number 19. The 3 Giza pyramids are precisely aligned with the constellation of Orion, which could have been the intention of the builders because the stars of Orion were associated with Osiris, the god of rebirth and afterlife. by the ancient Egyptians. Number 20. In spite of the enormous heat outside, the temperature inside the pyramids actually stays relatively constant, around 20 degrees Celsius or 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Thank you. I hope that the information I have provided in this video, along with photographs, will help you to visualize the pyramids. In fact, after looking at all the pictures, I have such a clear idea that I feel there is no need for me to go and see the actual pyramids, because I can get a very good idea of how the pyramids look like. So hopefully this video will save you lots of money in sparing your trip to Egypt. And if you don't mind, please like this video by clicking on the like button below. Also share it with your friends by clicking on the share button below, and also click on the bell icon so that you will be informed of any future videos I make. Thank you very much. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so by clicking on the subscribe button below. You can also click on the share button and share this video with your friends on WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, or via email.